So, I was thinking this morning, and this video just came to me on the fly. Uh, Never thought of this video before, but had the villains arranged in a certain way. I am going through every different type of goal in villainous, Marvel, and Disney included, together. Because there's many different goals, but some are often the same. So, I'm just going to get into it. So the first type of goal I have here, I have these ABC order because I'm a freak. I have MODOK. He's the only one whose goal starts saying he has to activate the Cosmic Cube. So, oh yeah, I'm also going to tell you how I feel about each goal. So, activating... So, I literally just got the new villainous set last night. And I play as MODOK, and so far, MODOK's the only one who I haven't had win a game out of the 3 in the set yet. MODOK often has some problems collecting loyalty, but he has 3 discard actions on his board and a specialty that literally allows him to discard and draw back up. So the thing with MODOK is that he's going to be discarding a lot, and that's because he's probably going to have to circle through his deck 2 times. On occasion, you might even have to cycle through your deck 3 times. He is a villain who takes a lot of time to complete, but he's still able to win, obviously. But here we're talking about the activate goals. Activating goals usually do have a kick, like Lady Tremaine has an activation goal. Let me find Lady Tremaine in here real quick, because I didn't actually have her in the right place. Finding it. There she is. Lady Tremaine, too, has an activate goal. Lady Tremaine has to marry Giselle or Anastasia to the prince. Well, she has to play Anastasia or Gisela, and then discard them to play Ballgown Anastasia or Ballground Gisela. Play the invitation from the king to unlock this location, find the prince, play him here. That's why there's no top actions here, because there's no reason to be. But then she'll have to play, when she gets a ballroom sister into the ballroom in the same location as the prince, she has to activate the winning bells. So activating goals are often very fun. Lady Tremaine is my favorite in the yellow set, and honestly the only one I actually like in the Gaston set. She's the only person I like to play in the Gaston set, pretty much. MODOK so far seems to be my second favorite of the Loki set to play as. MODOK has this very fun thing. One of my favorite things to do is discarding the huge chunk of cards to just zoom through my deck. And MODOK allows you to do that. MODOK's gameplay is very satisfying in that way. So, activation goals, I will give... Since there's only... Let me check through these films to see if there's any more activation goals. I do not think so. I mean, like, Evil Queen technically has an activation goal, but she only needs to activate one thing. It's not... I'm talking about, like, you need to activate something to actually win. Well, in this case, she does, but I mean, like, when you activate it, you immediately win the game. Talking's causing me to go through these slower. Okay, next. Activation. There is indeed one more activation villain. And that is Killmonger. Killmonger from Black Panther also has an activation goal. Now, like I said, if you have to activate something to win, it's usually going to be a process getting up to it. MODOK has to gain 5 loyalty playing all these allies. Lady Tremaine has to go through getting her stepdaughters ready for a ballroom dance. Killmonger has the most steps, let's say. So first, he has to defeat Claw, who's a rival who starts at the Golden City. After he defeats Claw, he flips Claw over to reveal the challenge for the throne and puts it in the specialty space. Then he has to activate Challenge for the Throne for 2 to find Black Panther and play him to Warrior Falls. Then he has to defeat Black Panther. Once he does that, he flips over to Mines Are Lost to control the mines. Then he has to play explosives. He has to play 2 explosives total and relocate them to another villain's domain. But the only way he can relocate explosives to another player's domain is if he activates Control the Mines, which means that he too has an activation winning goal. So, putting these 3 from my least favorite to favorite as the play, Killmonger's my least favorite out of these to play. He's still enjoyable. Lady remains next, and MODOK is by far my favorite out of these to play. So, paired to all these, activation goals, I will give an 8 out of 10 is what I will give them. Okay, so the next type of goal I have here, what's the next type of goal? Okay, collecting goals. Okay. So I got a collecting goal now. I'm gonna look through. Looking for all the collecting goals. Okay. I don't necessarily know if I should include this, but I'm going to. Hold on. No biggie. Just had a phone call real quick. Okay, so where was I? I was looking for collecting goals. Okay. Okay, so there is a lot of collecting goals. Okay, I got all of them that I'm gonna actually say are collecting goals. Okay, so the first one I have here is Cruella de Vil. Cruella de Vil, she has to collect and spend 99 puppies. Now, if collecting goals, it's not a process so much to collect. It's not so much of a process to get the thing ready to be collecting. It's the process to collect it. Now, some characters, you don't have to go through a process to collect it, like Prince John. Prince John, he just has to move to the location and collect the power. He can also play cards to collect power, but going to different locations would be his main way of collecting power. Cruella de Vil, she has to find the puppy with Flashlight or Horus or one of her effect cards and put it in her domain, on her board, and then capture that puppy token. So it's a little bit of a process. Mother Gothel has some amazing combos to collect trust from Rapunzel. Rapunzel's kind of a tug-of-war in which, when Rapunzel's moved, at the end of your turn, Rapunzel's always moved towards Corona unless you play Mother Knows Best, so she doesn't move. Mother Gothel, now, collecting, yes, it often does include combos, like Cruella de Vil could have some good combos. This was the one I was kind of debating on whether I should include or not, and that's Hela. Her goal is to have a combination of 8 allies and soul marks and no opposing characters Odin's Vault. So, I decided to include her in the collecting goals because she has to collect soul marks. And she needs to collect at least 1 soul mark to win, so it's technically a collecting goal. But yeah, she has to put all these allies at Odin's Vault, and the goal is a little weird at first, but you have to have, if you had 4 allies at Odin's Vault, you have to have 4 soul marks at Odin's Vault. You have 6 allies at Odin's Vault, you have to have 2 soul marks at Odin's Vault. So you need to have a combination of soul marks and allies, adding up to 10 at Odin's Vault. The catch for Hela is the fact that she cannot have any heroes at Odin's Vault. But that's how she gets soul marks. She can attach them to heroes in any or all domains, soul marks, and once those heroes are defeated, Hela will get that soul mark and it will be put in Odin's Vault. So Hela is kind of a collecting goal and a killing goal. So I'm actually going to take her out of this, and I'm going to put her into killing goal, which, you know what, I'll just get to next. So the next one I have, my new favorite villainous character, is Loki. Loki must collect and spend 10 mischief. Now, it's very fun, because Loki has these multiverse cards, which he can only play to other players' boards. Well, those players who the multiverse cards are on, they will get special little perks. But Loki will get perks as well. Like Kid Loki if like Madame Mask moves to Kid Loki's location, she may gain 4 power, but if she does, Loki will gain 2 mischief and 1 power. So it's a help me, help you, help me goal, is what most people say. And it's just so fun. And then Loki has to find ways to spend mischief. And he's just so fun. Very full of lies and mischief. So I think probably the hardest of these collecting goals... Also, try winning as Hela against Thanos. It's impossible. Don't try it. I beg of you, don't try it. Don't try Thanos against Hela. It's impossible. Thanos will just kill all of her allies. That's what we're getting into Thanos about. So Thanos has to collect 10 Infinity Stones. Now, he's the by far the one who cost the most power in the collecting goal to win as, and it also takes the most of a process. So Thanos first has to play this card called Consult the Well. Another fake card called A Stone Is Found could also help Thanos with that. But, he... Then, once he plays Consult the Well, he only has 4 Consult the Well cards and 6 Infinity Stones. So he must play Warp Reality to get those cards out of his discard pile. Which he has 2 of, so don't discard them. Once he does that, he gives an Infinity Stone to another player. That player attaches the Infinity Stone to any ally. Thanos then relocates one of his allies over to that player's board, to the top of their board, covering up 2 actions. And then Thanos will then have to kill their ally to get that Infinity Stone back. But you might want to bring 2 allies with him, because that ally, if it's used in a vanquish action, will get discarded. Not Ebony Maw, which is why I always prefer to have Ebony Maw, of course. But if you have any of your allies remaining at that location, the Infinity Stone gets attached to your ally, and on your next turn, or on that turn if you have the Space Throne, wherever you played that Consult the Well card at, you may bring it back. And then once you do that, you flip it over from its item side to its specialty side, and put it on your specialty space here, and once you have all 6 Infinity Stones, you win. So now it's time to rate. So, probably my least favorite of these collecting goals would definitely have to be Prince John. Next of these collecting goals, my least favorite, probably Hela, then Cruella de Vil, then Thanos, then Mother Gothel, then Loki's my favorite of these collecting goals. So, not really, okay, good, great. So we got 2 greats, 1 not really, 1 good, 1 okay, and 1 good. So overall, these get a 8.5 out of 10. The collecting goals get an 8.5 out of 10. So just to get Hela out of the way, I'm going to go for the killing goals. The goals in which you, even if you need to kill just 1 person, it'll count as a killing goal. You. Definitely you. I'll put that there just because. Yeah, I guess. And then you, yes. Okay, so we by far have more killing goals than anything so far. We have a fat stack of killing goals. So the first one I have here, you know what, let's just do it. Let's get Hela out of the way. Don't need to talk about Hela. Like I said, Hela needs to vanquish heroes or have people kill heroes to give her the soul marks, but that's pretty much it for Hela. Next I have here is Yzma from the Emperor's New Groove. Her goal is to defeat Kuzco using Kronk. So, Yzma will have all these different all these different fate decks. She is the only one who has 15 cards in her fate deck. 16 cards in her fate deck. So she'll split that fate deck up into 4 piles of 4 and put 1 above each location. Well, any card from, above Mudka's Meat Hut would have, any hero from the fate deck above Mudka's Meat Hut would have to be played right here. Well, in one of these decks is Kuzco. Well, she kind of has to go through and find Kuzco. It's like a scavenger hunt for Kuzco. Play him, play Kronk, and then she'll have to attach the dagger to Kronk and kill Kuzco. So Yzma does have to kill Kuzco. Now, I'm just going to get the ones where you have to defeat just one out of the way. Ratigan's going to be a little weird. Okay. Here we go. Defeat just one most of the time. So, yeah, I'm just going to get Ratigan out of the way, because Ratigan is the only character in the game who can actually change goals, unless you're counting Pete, but Pete has those 4 goals from the get-go. Ratigan might just change it. So, Ratigan's secondary goal, if he fails his first goal, is defeating Basil, so he'll just have to build up enough allies to defeat Basil, the Great Mouse Detective. And that's all for Ratigan. For now, I'm going to take him out of here because he will also be a start your turn character, which I will get to later. Speaking of which, I'm sure there's some here that I'm going to have to take out. Yep, you. Okay. Ursula also has a starting, but I put her in to have to kill because she does have to kill a hero to win. I guess that means I should also put him in there. And also... Okay. So, Ursula has to start her turn with a trident and a crown at Ursula's lair. Well, how she gets the trident is she has to play the trident, but when she plays the trident, she has to go through her fate deck and find King Triton, and put King Triton back, and put King Triton in at the top of her board, and then attach the Triton to him. So then she has to kill him with one of her binding contracts and move the trident to Ursula's lair, unless it's already there. Then she has to play a crown. So yes, her goal does involve having to kill a hero. Next character I have here is Jafar. He was the one I was hesitant about including here because Jafar doesn't necessarily have to kill anybody. He has to hypnotize them. And move them to the bottom of the board, but it's technically getting rid of a hero, so I'm including it, having to get rid of a hero to win. He has to hypnotize the genie and then move the lamp to the palace. Once he plays the Scarab Pendant, he unlocks the Cave of Wonders. Then he has to play the Magic Lamp. The Magic Lamp, when it can only be played to the Cave of Wonders, and when it's played, you find a genie play it. Well, you have to hypnotize the genie, and once you do that, he's moved to the bottom of your board. Move the lamp to the very other side of the board, to the palace. So he also has to start his turn to win, so I will put him in the start your turn. Here, make sure I have none others here. Okay, so the next one who has to kill somebody is the Evil Queen from Snow White. Her goal, she was the hardest one for me to learn to play. So she's the only one in the entirety of Villainous who has a special symbol on her board, the Brew Poison. So she has to play all 4 ingredients to her poison. Once she does that, she can start brewing poison with that special action, converting her power into poison. Then she has to go to a hero's location and play Take a Bite, pay poison equal to that hero's strength, and kill them. Well, I didn't put Evil Queen as an activate goal, even though she most likely will have to activate the Magic Mirror to find Snow White. But there's some things like if somebody draws an effect card in Snow White, or an item card in Snow White, sometimes they won't be able to play that, so they'll have to play Snow White. So I didn't necessarily put her as an activate goal, but I guess you could put her as an activate goal if you want, because she most likely will have to activate the Magic Mirror to find Snow White. But yeah, she has to kill Snow White to win, so that's basically the Evil Queen. Next, I have Captain Hook from Peter Pan. Captain Hook's objective is to defeat Peter Pan to Jolly Roger. So he has a locked location, the Hangman's Tree. He has to play the Neverland map to unlock the Hangman's Tree, find Peter Pan, and he has cards that allows him to literally go through his fate deck occasionally. And he then, once he finds Peter Pan, he has to move Peter Pan to the other side of the board to his ship called the Jolly Roger and defeat Peter Pan. So I'm also putting Killmonger as a have to kill a hero goal because he has to kill Black Panther and Claw to win. But Claw is not actually like a hero, he's a rival Next character I have here is one of my new favorites, Madame Mask. Her goal is to kill 8 heroes with a Vendetta Vanquish action. Madame Mask has 2 different ways she can kill heroes. She can contract kill them, or Vendetta kill them. Contract killing means she gains power, but it doesn't go towards her goal. She has to make 8 Vendetta kills to win the game. Vendetta goes towards winning. And then, so far, who seems to be my favorite out of all these need-to-kill characters is Scar, Lion King. He has to kill an average of 4 to 5 heroes based on my playstyle to win. And but he has to kill Mufasa first. And when he kills Mufasa, his succession pile starts right below his picture. Then whenever he kills a hero, he puts it here in the succession pile. Once you have hero strength adding up to 15 or more, then you win. So, next, any more heroes that need to start their turn with bull crap? Okay, rating the defeat goals. The defeat goals, there's often a lot of them that can be repetitive, but it is a fun little process, so I will give them a 9.5 out of 10. No, I'll give them a 10 out of 10. Because now we're getting to the goals that some of them I don't really like, and these are the ones that take up most of the goals. It is to have to start your turn goals. So, let me... Here we go. Okay, so I think more have to start your turn goals than anything. Yeah, we got Maleficent, Hades, Ratigan, Scar, Jafar, Ursula, Prince John, Cruella de Vil, and Mother Gothel. So you see a lot of villains are repeating. So we're going to get started with the face of villainous herself, Maleficent. So Maleficent, she has to play one of her many curses to each location. And then start her turn afterwards. So starting your turn goal is just a goal where after you complete the goal you're actually supposed to do, you gotta wait till your next turn starts so the people actually have a chance to stop you. Next is Hades. Hades has to play at least 3 Titans, but they can only be played to the Underworld. Then he has to move them across the board, all the way across the board, to Mount Olympus. He has to move at least 3 of them over to Mount Olympus, and then wait till his next turn starts. Okay, so next I have Ratigan. Like I said, Ratigan can change his goals. Well, his OG goal that he starts off with is the Robot Queen. He'll have to rack up enough power, especially since the Robot Queen is the most expensive card in the game at 15 power, but he does have item cards that allow that to knock down the cost of the Robot Queen. Robot Queen, she can get discarded fairly easily if they get the right hero. So that's not good. Scar has to start his turn after getting 15 in his succession pile. Jafar has to start with the lamp at the palace and the genie under his control. Ursula has to start her turn with the crown and trident at the lair. Prince John has to start with 20 power. Cruella de Vil has to start with 99 puppies. And Mother Gothel has to start with 10 trust. So my favorites out of these would be Mother Gothel, Cruella de Vil, Scar, Hades, Ratigan, and Jafar. But there's other characters in here that I don't like all that much, which would be Prince John, Ursula, and Maleficent. So all this, but it has my 4 top favorites. So overall, it also has some of my least favorite though. So I will give it a 9.5 out of 10. So let's see here. I got the killing goals done. I got the activate goals done. I got the collecting goals done and the start your turn goals done. So next we're going to go with, we're just going to go through the rest of them. So Pete has to complete 4 goals. He has a goal that doesn't exactly have a duplicate because he has to complete 4 goals. He has a goal at each location that he'll have to complete, sometimes at that with things at that location or just on his board. Next we have a controlling goal. Dr. Facilia, he's a little weird in which he has this fortune pile where cards that have fortunes on them go. And when he gets Roll New Orleans in the fortune pile and the talisman under his control, then he can go to the Voodoo Emporium, play the cards will tell, and reveal cards from his 3 cards from his fortune pile. And if one of them is Roll New Orleans, he wins most of the time. There are cards that'll stop him. Okay, so next I have the have goals, like Queen of Hearts, have a wicket at each location successfully, take a shot. So her goal is bent on winning on effects and allies. She has to have a wicket at each location, which are allies, and then she plays take a shot to win. Horn King will have to find the cauldron and then flip it over to the black. He'll have to find the black cauldron, then flip it over to the power of the black cauldron. Once he does that, he'll have to play an ancient soldier to each location, and then at the beginning of his turn, he can spend 2 power to replace one of them with a cauldron born. And when he has a cauldron born at each location, he wins. But he can only replace an ancient soldier with a cauldron born once per turn, and it has to be before he moves. Next I have here is Taskmaster, also has a goal on his own. He has to have 4 allies, each at a different location with a strength of 5 or more, but the highest strength his allies would ever start out with is 3, so he'll have to do some work. Next I have Gaston. Gaston has to remove all 8 obstacles. He's boring. Gaston just has to play a whole bunch of effect cards that do the same exact thing, but his fate deck's fairly brutal. Next is Ultron. Ultron has a very unique goal in which he has 3 upgrades: the transformation, the optimization, and the ultimate. And when he gets through the ultimate goal, he can pay 12 power to reveal Age of Ultron. So these goals are kind of the goals that don't have duplicates of themselves, and I'm not going to give any of those a rating, but basically that's just me going through all the different types of goals. See, because every goal is different in its own right, but at the same time there is also some goals that have, like, the gist of it is the same, but the way you complete your goal is always different. So but the way the villains are played usually isn't based off of their goal a lot of the time. Well, I mean, it is, but the way that you actually perform is usually based off of your cards. So maybe one day I'll rank these based on luck, but I don't know if I will do it today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I don't know. But that's it. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.